live? I think we are live.
Think so. Hi guys. Let's give a second and Flavia is going to share the stream so then everyone can join us.
Yes.
And then we do the introduction so then no one misses anything. What you doing?
I'm
okay.
doing the thing. Oh my freaking god. Doing the thing where we see us and the chat.
Hi guys, can you see and hear all three of us? Let us know. Hi, how it's on your end. And Flavia is sharing some stuff now, so that's why we're looking.
Yeah,
on her lap
down
because you look a little crazy right now, Flavia.
Do I? Right now only?
So welcome guys. Today we are here with our beautiful, lovely sister, Alanna Heavenly. So grateful. So let people know, Alanna, what you do and who you are and how they can find you.
Yes, I was just thinking earlier, I'm much more comfortable introducing Kali than I am introducing myself. So I am a spirit channeler, an Akashic Records reader, and energy healer as well. So I provide mentorship on how to read your own Akashic Records, how to learn how to channel. And yeah, I think I do one-on-one sessions, and I just launched soul love readings as well, about integrating your divine feminine and masculine too. And awesome. Don't forget to talk about your twin flame readings as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And that's amazing. I didn't know you just started doing that.
I just started doing it. But I want you to talk about your twin flame readings too.
Okay, yeah, because you were the first one that did the twin flames reading. I thought it was amazing. Was so much fun, and it's a new offering too in our page, is that the twin flames reading, and it's ongoing. We thought we were only going to do that for October, and then we decided to just leave it as an offering forever. And yeah, we do this twin flame reading is kind of the same thing. It's like we invite through your masculine and feminine, because that's what twin flames mean, right? It's the balance and harmony between them. And yeah, it's a one-on-one 20-minute session. How does your session go?
So it's an hour long, and it's really helping people to get unstuck from whatever relationships they have. It doesn't have to be romantic necessarily. It could be any type of dynamic like that, where you're like, what lesson am I learning here? I don't get it. Why am I still going through this kind of thing? And just learning how to integrate what the lesson is and learn more about the relationship at hand, and learn what your divine feminine and masculine aspects inside of you are saying to you.
That's amazing. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And people can find that on your page? Where?
On my website, AlannaHeavenly.com. And then for some folks, we'll also have them channel their higher self too, if they feel comfortable doing so. But I'll also be channeling their higher selves.
That's amazing. I love it. So
exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And that's a little bit of what we wanted to talk about today, right? The interaction with the masculine and the feminine and how all of that works. So if you guys have any questions, just please let us know. I think we didn't mention we are channeling Kali Ma and Mary Magdalene today for you guys. Alanna is mostly doing Kali and I'm doing Mary. And we felt like this was such a great balance, right? Of energies and everything. So do you want to tell people how you experience Kali and how she comes through for you?
Yeah, Kali Ma is such a wonderful divine mother. She initially comes off as like tough love, but really it's just a sharp sword. I was going to say a blunt sword, but she's blunt and she has a sharp sword and straight to the point, which is sometimes what we need when we are not listening the first few times, and then just cut straight to it in the most loving way ever. So she has been one of my main guides for many years and is just such a beautiful energy. And I really wanted to share my experience with her because people are afraid of that aspect, of that kind of dark angel aspect. And
Yes.
it's all love. It's really
Yeah.
all love and pure and innocent. And it's important to see that. If you fear this aspect, then what is it in yourself that you're fearing?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about the badass in you that you're fearing, that you're hiding from, that you're suppressing in yourself, is what Kali says right now.
Mm-hmm.
So before I go on, tell us about Mary Magdalene.
You could go on and on. I don't mind. So first, I would like to say that that's exactly how I experience Kali as well. She has that kind of badass energy and just straight to the point, which is a lot of how Lilith comes through. And they're just basically the same energy with different names, right? Different experiences. And I think it's true that sometimes it's like we need that, because there's just so much that it's not that the other beings, they kind of sugarcoat us, because that's not what it is that sometimes I feel like they give us kind of metaphors so then we can interpret them for ourselves and then how we feel about that. And I feel like Kali, she just goes and she says it. And I love that kind of tough love, and I think it's so beneficial for everybody to experience that and also integrate that within themselves. Right? So it's like to bring that energy into you so then you can feel that empowered, because her energy is just so empowering, which is also a lot of Mary Magdalene. It's a different kind of energy signature. She's also a divine mother, and she has so much. For me, she is like the ambassador of compassion. She has so much of that. But compassion from a standpoint where she is always in her power and she is always in her own energy, and she's so centered that it doesn't matter how it is that she's experiencing life with you and through you. She's still so focused in her own love and love for herself. So then everything that comes through, it comes from that space in her that is so empowered and so strong and so beautiful and so loving. So for me, the way that I experience her is like that. It's like she's always so centered, and she is compassionate without sympathizing, because she knows that it comes from her heart, that loving herself and accepting herself is key to communicate with other people. So I think that that's why I love so much the work that she brings through me and through you too, and everyone that channels her. She's so empowered and so clear also in her messages, right?
So what are the similarities between these two beings? Mary Magdalene is known as the whore.
Yeah.
Kali Ma gets such a bad rap as well.
Yep.
And do either of them care? No.
Nope.
Keep going, because it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So remember that as well when you guys are putting yourselves out there. Think about all the things we hear, these lies that we hear about Kali Ma and Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And then when you connect with their energy, you see that they're pure light. And let's say that it's true that Mary Magdalene was a whore. Who cares anyway?
Who gives a
How
shit?
is that relevant? That's an amazing, empowering thing. If that's what she loved to do, then wonderful. It's no one else's business, is it?
Exactly. I think that that's such a powerful thing to bring through. I didn't think about that. And I think it's the same thing with Kali Ma. She's like a man eater, and she has this, sometimes even seen like an overpowering energy, and she couldn't care less, because that's her truth and that's who she is. And she's not worried about how people are perceiving her, because they know that people's perception of them is a reflection of what they have inside. So if you think about them, if you look at Mary Magdalene, for example, and the only thing you can see is the trigger of religion, is the trigger of that abuse, or that persecution, that's because that's how you feel inside. It has nothing to do with her true essence and her true energy. So I would suggest diving deeper into feeling those essences of those beings inside you, instead of trying to pinpoint them in the outside, because we all have a Mary Magdalene, we all have a Kali, even if they might have different names or anything, that energy signature is there one way or another. So how do we want to perceive them, and how we choose to see that greatness, even, that beauty and that grace that they have to to offer. It comes from how we feel about ourselves.
Exactly. And Kali Ma right now says that your perception of me is none of my business. It's your lesson to learn.
Yes. And how empowering it is if we bring that to us, right? And how much peace of mind we can get that it's like, okay, I'm going to continue being me and shining my love in my life, in my light as I want to, because it comes to that as we are human. And then whoever wants to perceive whatever they're going to perceive, it's their business, not ours.
Yes.
That's really empowering. So let's see if they have any questions.
Yeah. The first question we have is from Irene. She asks, what is it that I need to know or hear at the present moment?
I'm trying to get something more helpful from.
I had that feeling. What is she saying?
Okay. Sometimes, speaking as Alanna, sometimes I'm like, Kali, that's not helpful or nice. That's like.
I know. I feel the same way sometimes. Yeah.
But with that in turn, she would like your question to be more specific as well. Her initial response is, what is it that you need to see? What is it that you need to know? Yourself. You need to know yourself more. So what is it that you're doing to identify and connect with yourself more? What are your daily practices like? What is it that you feel within my essence that triggers you or enlightens you even more, my child?
That's pretty much a lot of how I got it from Mary Magdalene as well. She said basically the same thing. It's like, where are you seeing love in yourself? And how can we empower that? How can we bring that more into the front, of your life and your daily life? How do you experience love and how do you love yourself? So it's basically the same thing. But she's also saying if you have anything more specific in mind that you want to question us about, let's do that. That's the thing that we mentioned before. It's like Kali is really straight to the point. And sometimes whenever it is that I bring her through as well, or even Lilith, is that, okay, but give us a little more, expand on that, because they are like, nope, or yep, sometimes.
Divine says, you always be evil or bad in the eyes of someone.
And who cares?
Yeah.
You can play that role for them. That might be the most loving thing that you do in this incarnation.
Yeah.
And also Mary said that if that's what you expect, that's what you create. If you always think that people are going to see the worst in you, then that's what you manifest. But if you start looking in the mirror and seeing the best in you every day and every time, that's how you start projecting yourself. So that's what you attract as well. There's a balance there, she says.
Dawn says, is it appropriate time to hear a story from Mary Magdalene meeting Yeshua's Himalayan teacher, Babaji?
She's saying we can dive deeper into that another time, but she wants to give you something. She's saying that, well, again, every time I talk about specific things that quote unquote happened, time is not linear, first of all, and there are thousands and thousands of lifetimes and timelines that people go through and we can see through. So she's showing me one specific one. Mary and Yeshua, they lived many, many, many earthly years, like 600 something years. And it was around the 400 that they arrived in that part of the world. She's saying, they're in the east, west, east, right?
East.
I have such a hard time with that in English. So she's saying that he was one of Yeshua's guides in a way, and that he's been incarnated in many times, and he could always find Yeshua in a way, and they would have this communication, because Yeshua understood, and Mary as well, that they were multidimensional. So even this linear time that we count like 600 years, it's not fully linear for them, because they were living in so many lifetimes, and so many timelines at the same time in their full awareness without going crazy, which I think is just so powerful. If you experience life at Deca, sometimes when we do that a little bit, you go like, oh my God, it's too much. But they didn't limit themselves. So this being came through so many times, and he was like even like a father figure for Yeshua. She's saying that that's what we're gonna explore with that for today.
Nice. Another question: how to embrace more our divine? Sorry, how to embrace more our feminine energy, especially in times of stress, in the midst of chaos. For example, at work, where I can stop.
Go ahead.
Who's asking?
Divine.
She says, Kali Ma says, bringing out your inner mother, mothering yourself more, because the dynamic that she feels is she doesn't like the word toxic, but the masculine side that feels like they need to overwork themselves to the core. And think about what you would want your divine mother to say to you. Think about if love embraced you fully and wholly, gave you a warm hug, a warm embrace, and you placed your head upon her bosom. What would you say? What would you want to hear? Give yourself some grace and compassion, my child. You are far too hard on yourself, because it is your choice to give yourself some ease in this life. And it is only your choice. Yes, some instances in the world may make the choice for you, but would you rather wait that long until destruction and chaos, when you can make the decision for yourself right now with more ease and love and grace for yourself? Honor your feelings. Give yourself compassion. Give yourself the compassion that you give to everyone else around you, for you deserve it more, because it is yours.
That's beautiful.
Arlene asks, what do I still need to explore with the relationship with my ex-husband? Is there something to do between us, or something we need to learn in relation to our kids?
I would want the ex-husband's name.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's a little too personal, so give us a little bit more information, because sometimes it's hard to.
I'll keep an eye.
Yes, if she
chat.
answers.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
let me just go back. Mary was saying something.
Okay.
She's saying that it's fully your it's 100% a choice too. Everything on earth is. And that's the thing that we do when we incarnate on earth, is that we give ourselves options, and we give ourselves duality in a way that can be very beautiful. So how do you want to explore it? How much more do you want to empower it? How much more do you want to create with it, or don't you? She's saying that coming from deep within yourself, how is it that you want to explore that kind of relationship? How is it serving you right now? What is the most loving thing for you to do regarding all of that right now? It's just saying, go back to the present moment. Every time that your mind starts chattering about it, how is it serving right now? She's saying, don't think about how it went or how it's going to be. She's saying, focus, center, and ask about it in the present moment. So how much more do I want to empower this relationship, for example? Because every time you do so, you create even more into that. So she's saying, tune back into how you feel about it, and what feels most loving for you in this situation, because that's how you reflect it from a perspective that it's outside of you, right? So that's how you see reflected in him, in your children, in your reality. So tuning back and focusing on your heart she's saying that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And Kali Ma says to forgive yourself for any feelings or emotions that you have towards this person. Honor that all and forgive yourself for anything that you feel is unloving.
Carlo is his name.
She says that she's complete.
Mm-hmm. I heard that. She was just like, yep, I'm done.
Yvonne says, I have a problem in my right shoulder, and I've heard that the right side of our body goes with masculine energy. How can I balance everything?
You are putting so much pressure on yourself, my dear. How can I balance everything?
Mm-hmm.
Everything in this entire world is what Kali Ma says.
Yeah.
Lean into the flow and the ease. That may be our word of the day, ease. Ease and acceptance and forgiveness and compassion, as my sister Mary Magdalene is so wonderful with. What is your shoulder saying to you? When you take a break and breathe in and out of the shoulder, what burdens are you carrying that are no longer yours to bear? Whose pain are you taking? Not because you have to or need to, but because you feel like all of the burden and everything is yours to bear. How do you feel when you recognize that you can lighten that load? And she's showing me like hands that are like carrying these heavy packages and just putting it on the floor and surrendering it to spirit. And they're bricks. The packages are bricks. They're nicely wrapped up, but they're bricks inside. And you don't need to carry that anymore. You can surrender that. And surrendering may not be instantaneous, but recognize that each step of the way you can continue to surrender to spirit and give it to God, my child. She says my child often, and it's really serving as a reminder that we are all children of God and that we are not here alone and that we can always ask for help and assistance from our guidance and from source. So when you feel that you have all of these problems, all of these burdens, when you feel that you are crying at home alone, you are never alone. You are always here to call in the divine goddesses, your divine mothers and fathers, and spirit guides, whatever you want to call them, ancestors. They have so many thousands of names that we call them. But really, the purpose is to link you back to source, link you back to spirit, link you back to your God self. That's what matters.
Yes. And Mary was saying that even deeper than that, like, because you already resonated with the right being the masculine, what is the message that comes through? You know, what the crap is the word? Tap into your own heart and allow the masculine to speak, you know, off that burden, you know, because if if you already see, for whoever doesn't know, whenever Flavia does that sound, you know,
it's a hiccup, by the way.
It is just like that's true.
Yeah, it's an
So empower that communication with your masculine, with your feminine, and how they interact with you. That's what you wanted to add, you know, because all those burdens sometimes it's like Kadi said, it's not even yours anymore, and you're trying to hold on to it, and it's not serving anymore. So what is the story that is being told there, and how can you release it? Because sometimes it's a matter of only surrendering, and for some people we need to dive deeper and bring it more into a human perception, is what she says. So then we can fully let go of whatever that is. So empower that communication is what she's saying.
Kali is also saying that she is happy that this question was asked, because specifically when you bring up the pain on the masculine side, and what pains of the masculine are we as women taking on that aren't our lessons, that aren't ours to learn and to hold? We call this era the rise of the feminine, whatever that means is what she says. Let's think of it as the rise of masculine and feminine energy. And how do we allow that within ourselves? Just as much as the feminine energy would like a voice, would like a right, would like a say, would like the right to form and share opinions, the right to choose. Masculines also deserve that right as well. What would happen if we thought of the rise of the feminine and the rise of the masculine as equals, giving everyone all of the rights, everything that they're asking for, allowing the masculine to learn the lessons that they need to learn as they choose without the feminine energy feeling like we need to take on the burden or the load, otherwise known as being overly mothering and overly nurturing. As a feminine, with my divine counterpart, what if I had taken that role and not trusted his instincts, his intuition, and had done everything for him? Would we have been able to be Kali Ma and Shiva? What about Mary Magdalene and Yeshua?
Yeah, she
How
said
about
that they all had their roles, right?
how about we allow the masculine energy, whatever gender you prefer is one thing, I'm referring to energies. How about you allow the masculine energy to play its role and to learn in whatever way it needs to, no matter how destructive it looks like through your eyes, because chaos can bring the most beautiful lessons. And the most beautiful rose can arise from concrete, from destruction that when you feel like everything is dead, allow beautiful rebirth to happen. So let us allow that from all of the energies that we are tapped into. Just because you are finding your voice and you want to be heard, and that is beautiful, that does not mean we need to suppress any others' voices or anyone else's lessons. That is what I'm here to say. Have I triggered anyone?
Love it. Would she expand even more in her relationship with Shiva and how that interaction plays a role for us now as a balance, of masculine and feminine within us?
I gave women permission to be destructive, sometimes self-destructive, and to learn through that chaos. And there's what she's saying is beautiful evilness, meaning allowing yourself to say, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do whatever I want. Giving yourself permission to just solely think about yourself for once. To be selfish in a world where everyone's thinking about how we can be selfless. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And how does she experience Shiva's energy as Kali Ma?
What she's saying now is my beautiful man. My beautiful man.
He sure is.
She embraces all of his darkness. She embraces all of him, is what she's saying. And she lets him do whatever he wants to do. It's not about control. And the most wonderful thing about love is allowing it to be natural. And now allowing yourselves to flow to each other naturally without needing to control how or when it happens.
I love that. Thank you. I think that's really beautiful. And I feel that a lot with Mary and Yeshua as well. The way that they interact is there's this utter freedom where they create from, and respect for each other, and respect for whatever role it is that each other chose, and roles they are still playing for us, even Kali and Shiva as well. We are all playing those roles together still. And that's the place where they create from is 100% freedom, and just, holding each other in their hearts without wanting to overpower anything or taking roles that it's not yours to take, and just finding that harmony within themselves first, so then they can express that in a relationship. And I feel like that's what we see, and that's what we want, even with our relationships, that being romantic or not, is finding that harmony. And I feel like it comes from freedom. It comes from allowing the other person to express themselves exactly as they want to, exactly as they are, and accepting and loving that exactly as it is as well, even if at times it triggers you, because that's another role that they are playing for you. And always finding that middle ground where you can flow with the energy, and you can respect whatever it is that the role that that person is playing for society and for themselves and for you. So I feel like finding this harmony within us helps us manifest that in the outside in all ways, even if it is like a friendship, sisterhood, if it is a twin flame relationship and everything else. It's like you start attracting only that because you feel that within yourself. So how can you do that? How can you empower yourself to feel powerful and not in control? And I feel like there's a lot there, because people feel like being powerful sometimes it is like I need to grab everything and I need to hold everything and have control over everything, but that's not exactly what it is. So does Kali has anything to say about that, about control and power?
What Kali is saying right now is sometimes the most loving thing that your partner can do for you is to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
Is to leave you so that you're able to not just learn from the pain of being left, but to go through your own inner healing separately. Sometimes that's the most loving thing to do, because if you were together going through the healing, it would be even more destructive and unbearable and even more painful than you could imagine. So if you feel abandoned or left by someone, recognize that that was the loving thing to do at that time, and forgive yourself and this supposed other for the separation.
That's lovely.
Do we want to control how the dynamics work all the time? We want to try to, she's showing a leash and a collar around a man. Like we want to like pull on the leash, be like, no, come here. And that's just not how it works. Unfortunately, it's what she said. It would be much easier if it worked that way.
So you know what she showed me? Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Oh,
that
really?
She has two zombies on a leash. And she's like, that's what
funny.
happens, that they become a zombie, and you too.
Yeah. So release control, let go of that leash, because the leash is just a fallacy anyway. It's not real.
Yeah.
You're controlling something that cannot be controlled. And it would be much easier, again, back to ease, to surrender to spirit.
Yeah. And Mary's adding that love is flow. Love flows. It is what it is. There is nothing that separates you from love ever, because that's your truth. That's in your essence. And trying to bottle love, that's when trying to box love, that's when we start making it painful, and that's how it becomes suffering. So allowing love to flow however it is that love is flowing, because it's just happening anyway. So if we start changing that perception, that love is always flowing, even if it is in separation, even if it is through pain and heartache, there's still love, and it's all motivated and even created from love. So allowing yourself to see that and step outside of the situation, she says, and just observe as a creator that you are motivated only by love, because that's how you create. It can really, really help to shift your perception, so then you can fully ground that truth in your physical self.
I love that. Love is flow.
Yeah.
That's so true. And Kali's reminding me that I lost track of thought. 1 second. Let me breathe. I was still stuck on the love is flow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the love that you feel with this individual, that's your love. That's your love that you're feeling. And that love can be felt anywhere, anytime, and it's not attached to one particular person, because it's you, it's your soul that you're feeling. So no one can take your love away. No one can hold on to a piece of your soul and remove that from you and run away from you, because it's impossible. It's you. It's part of you. The amazing love that you feel for someone, that's you that you're feeling. So don't forget that.
Mary Magdalene is saying, and that's the bottom line of why we even create interactions such as twin flames. Is just so it can be reflected back to you, and you can understand that if you can even perceive to love someone that much, it means you love yourself. Mm-hmm. So then it's just a matter of you choosing to see as such and bring that love into your awareness of self now, and understand that if you can even love anything or anyone like that, it's because you love yourself. Yeah. So it's like a little loophole in the whole programming of Earth, the whole interaction. It brings you back into that awareness.
And be grateful that you have the opportunity to even feel a morsel of that love, so that you can bring it back to yourself and show that to everyone. Yeah. That love is not just for one person, it's for the world to see. You're here as an anchor of light. And while I say it's okay to be selfish, is what Kali Ma is saying, wouldn't it be wonderful if we allowed ourselves to feel that love at all times for everyone, and not just save it for a particular person?
Mm-hmm. How powerful is that? That's what changes the world. That changes the frequency and the whole paradigm of what we've been creating.
Mm-hmm. So Kali Ma saying, we are all twin flames. Think of it that way. My love for my sisters is the love that I have for my beloved, is the love that I have for my ancestors, is the love that I have for Source. Everyone gets this love.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yes. Let's take a look at the questions.
Yeah. Next question is from Morgan. I'm curious anyone's thoughts on my new venture of singing and music. I'm so excited to commit to this band, yet nervous about keeping my energy and health up.
If it is loving for you, then do it. And don't worry about future things. Don't future trip.
Yeah. Same thing I got. It's like, focus on the moment. If it feels loving now, do it now. If it doesn't feel loving tomorrow, stop doing it. Give yourself the option. I mean, you always have the option. Just bring that into your awareness that it's okay to let go of things and give yourself permission to do so.
Yeah. And Kali Ma is reminding me, I like to tell people that when you want to do something and you're like, oh, I really want to sing with this band, but like eliminate the but.
Yeah.
Remove that from your vocabulary.
Yeah.
And just do it.
Yes, exactly. And feel into the moment, and that's how you create as a conscious Christ being. That's what Mary was saying. Just create right now. Don't worry about what's gonna be. Nothing's gonna be if you don't create it right now.
Whatever happens is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got a huge smile from Yeshua. By the way, when you were reading it, he's like, yeah, that's my girl. He's already partying with you with the band.
You can invite them on stage.
Yes. Oh, he's never going to leave. He's going to be there forever.
Your mom just asked on chat, who is this goddess here with us today?
Essa deusa é a Alanna, mãe. I just told her your name.
Thank you.
Oops.
It jumped ahead so
Yeah,
much.
wait,
The chat.
wait.
I think it's
Oh my
Eva now,
God.
right?
There's one
Yeah.
before.
Oh,
What is the red dragon and what is its purpose on this earth?
What's the context?
yeah. I don't know. It's like just a red dragon in general, or something more specific. There are thousands of answers.
Yeah.
Let's see the next one.
Let's see if the person expands. Next one is from Eva. I'd like to ask, how can get over block in trusting myself and my inner wisdom when I feel cheated off my inner truth and misguided by events in my life?
Can you read it again? Because there's particular language that I feel like Kali Ma wants to correct. And yeah.
It starts with, I would like to ask, how can I get over block in trusting myself and my inner wisdom when I feel cheated on my inner truth and misguided by events in my life?
You feel cheated. Let's tap more into that. What do you feel is being taken away from you? Is what Kali Ma asked. Because nothing can actually be taken away from you. So please ask yourself that. What do you feel is being taken away? And she would like Eva to respond. Because that's very significant.
I feel that too.
Yeah. I keep an
Who do you feel is taking your power away? That's
yes.
You know. What she's saying is that she feels that you are belittling yourself. You are taking away your own truth. And she feels that your inner child and inner demons are speaking up very loudly and you're allowing it to consume you. And you're the one that's dimming and muting your inner wisdom and guidance. She said she just answered it for you, but please tell me, tell me what's coming up for you.
She wrote my truth, Eva.
What was taken away?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about what Kali Ma just said?
Let me read that again. Where is it? Because I felt there was something, but I lost it.
Here.
Yeah, there was a lot in that.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of energy in that question.
I would like to ask how I can get over the block in trusting myself and my inner wisdom when I feel cheated of my inner truth and misguided by events in my life. Okay, now she wants to talk about the misguided. And again, it's like you are making yourself little with this information that you're feeding yourself off. So basically the same thing that Kali just said is what Mary is bringing through. She's saying that, what if I told you that there is no misguided ever? Because even though you can understand that you are this multidimensional being, and every single event in your life and every time you chose something, you opened, many other timelines from that. And she's just showing me like this crossroads, and then you choose this one, and because you chose this one, thousands of things are created from this. And then this other one, you also chose it because you are the god of this creation, and if you can even think about the other option, it's already happening. But why did you choose to focus on this moment, this ever, this present? She's saying there is so much power in answering this from your heart. She's saying, why did you choose to see in this perspective? And why did you choose to feel like what you're feeling now? So instead of thinking about that, like you created this for yourself and you are small because of that, and that you did everything wrong, and it's just like every single choice you had, you chose the wrong thing, and you chose to perceive it the wrong way, and you kind of cheated yourself with your own mind. What if you change that perspective? She says, what if you choose to look at yourself from a higher perspective, even a more loving perspective? So she's saying that there are times in our lives where we go back to that fundamental truth in ourselves, that is, I am creating all, and by that I mean all. So there is that other Eva that followed through something else, and things are different for her, but I am focused on this present moment, and that's power itself. By you being able to give yourself options, that's power itself. So she's saying that by empowering that kind of thought, that you were cheated and that you were misguided, there's a part of you that feels a victim of this situation. And whenever it is that you choose, you can shift that. You can start believing and trusting and seeing that one step at a time, that you were not the victim of the situation. You are the divine creator of it, and you created everything perfectly. She's saying that the moment you start even just thinking about the possibility that you create everything perfectly, you step out of that role of the victim, and you start seeing that you have so much to explore with this new reality that you created, instead of always thinking that, oh, I did everything wrong, so now what? Now how can I trust my guidance if I feel like everything I've ever done was wrong and everything I believed was wrong? She's saying if you keep thinking like that, if you keep empowering that thought, you are putting yourself in the place of the victim of the situation, and nothing could be further from the truth. You are not a victim of any situation. You create everything from love. So just choose to step into that different role, because how Kali was saying, it's your inner child, your inner demons, they are feeding you this information, because that's exactly when chaos is happening. It's when we are reborn into our most powerful selves. And she's saying you can see that with everything and everyone. For example, when people go through an awakening process, at the beginning, they feel like they are dying. They feel like everything is crumbling around them. And that's the chaos that is created from just a little opening in their awareness. And it's just a little key that turns. So from that, can you see and feel just how much you are able to create? From that one chaotic moment that you felt like you were going to die and nothing made sense anymore, at the time you decided to stop being a victim from that situation and forgive yourself for creating that, you just see so many options, and that's how you return to your power. Does that make sense?
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kali Ma says, what if this is all a divine moment, and that you set this all up for yourself to empower yourself, to realize that you have a choice to do differently. You have a choice to say, I'm not going to take it anymore.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just that. And I feel like you're blocking your higher self, because I feel this pain here now. And I used to feel that pain when I was blocking Ra, because I didn't want to channel him. And I would feel this piercing pain here in my shoulder. So it's like the information is coming, but you're not allowing it to come through. You're not allowing that communication from, head to heart to happen. So Mary is saying, take as long as you need, of course. You are allowed every single feeling because you created it as such. So let's start seeing power in that, if nothing else. If that's the only thing you can do, just start seeing power in how you are able to feel. That alone just means you are God in this body, because that's just what it is. You created the option to feel in a physical body. That's power itself. So even if you feel angry, if you feel sad, if you feel frustrated, if you feel whatever it is, you can feel, and that's power. So start empowering one little thing at a time, she says, because it helps.
She says, yes, I'm blocking her. We are not on speaking terms.
Well, Kali Ma lovingly says, lovingly, you are not a victim. And if you believe you are, then you are victimizing yourself.
And she says it goes for anyone in any similar situation right now. It's not only for her. They're speaking it to anyone that resonates. There's a lot that goes on with that train of thought, and it stops us from enjoying life. I feel like that's the bottom line. It's like there's always something pulling you back. There's always something that isn't right, and it is a choice, Mary says.
Kalima. I think this is like triggering her.
It's a conversation between them.
She's like, who are you to block yourself? Who are you to block your God self?
Yes.
Who well, like she's like, what is that?
What the crap? I got that too.
You are right to be frustrated with that. You're blocking yourself. You're blocking your God self. You're blocking your source and your light. How can anyone live that way? So forgive yourself, my dear, my child, and go meditate.
She's kind of calling you out on this. Like, come on, let's meditate with me. Let's go. That's enough of this. And I feel like whenever it is that you're ready, or just whenever it is that the idea doesn't feel unbearable, do that. Invite Kali or Lilith so they can give you that little kick in the butt. It's like, okay, that's enough. I do that sometimes, even against my own, judgments sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm done, feeling sorry for myself with this. And I'm just talking about something personal. And then I'm like, okay, Lilith, how is it that it's going to be? And she's like, get the fuck up. It's like, come on, let's move. We ain't got time for that. And I'm like, okay, thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Because sometimes it's, not easy, but
yeah. And then like, I'll be in a similar situation, and in 5 minutes I'll laugh at myself for like for being so deep in my feelings and crying earlier. Yeah,
I know, it's a roller coaster, and that's just being human, Mary said, and it's beautiful, and it's gracious, and it's divine exactly as it is as well. So stop blaming yourself for being human. That's what she's saying.
Yes, I feel for you, sister, completely.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes, me too, so much. You're not alone in this, or anything at all. We've all gone through so much, and I honor your role. I feel like you're opening up for all of us in a way, and that's no small role. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
All right, this is a hot topic. Like, so much is coming. Kalima is saying it's very important that you were genuine in speaking up and authentic about what you're going through, because we have all been through it so many times. And it may feel like from the outside that she was picking on you, but that is not how it was at all. And she wants to know she loves you with all of her heart, and that this is simply a wake-up call, kind of an alarm clock that's saying, time to wake up now. You are God. You may have outgrown this role of you suppressing your God self.
Yep. And that's really powerful and really beautiful.
I think we gotta go now because we have an
Live
Ask Us Anything on Patreon right now, but probably in 10 minutes.
We should do this again.
Yes.
I love it.
And people are saying that they loved it and they love this back and forth conversation between them.
I love it too. I love how it flowed, and everything. I think it's awesome. We should do that again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I was so excited to talk to you guys. Kalima was so excited. She kept calling you her sisters.
Yeah. It's really literally a tea party.
Yes, it is.
The sisters. We have all of the links for you to find Alanna in the description. So her website where you can book the session that she's offering now. That is, what is it called?
Oh, my Soul Love session. And then I also have general readings available too.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Her YouTube channel, there are awesome channelings there. And the links for our Patreon and our website. And we have this Ask Us Anything now on Patreon. So if you want to join, it's for tiers 1 and up. So it's the one from $5 $55.
Yes, dollars.
Yes, if you want to join now and ask your questions.
Continue.
Hmm?
We're going to continue this.
Yeah, this Q&A kind of thing.
Maybe we could bring Alanna. Are you free, Alanna?
Yeah.
Just putting you on the spot. We can talk about it after we
I'm
go.
free. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Let's talk about this in a second.
Okay.
And we have a giveaway.
Yes, going
on
on Patreon as well.
Yes.
For tiers 2 and up, whoever is on tier 2 and up, we're having a giveaway of 2 sessions of 20 minutes with me and 2 Reiki alignments with Flavia. So 4 people are going to win. So all you need to do is be on tier 2 and up in our Patreon, and it's until the 22nd.
Yes, that we're gonna draw the name.
So we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes on Patreon.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Alanna. This was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I love you. Thank you, everyone watching.
Yay.
Love you guys.
Love you.